Hi guys, I've got another video for you today. I have been playing with these new Betterpress compatible plates that Alton New have introduced. I'm sure all of you have seen the big hoo-ha about the Betterpress plates because every crafter everywhere is doing videos about them. I don't have one at the moment, but I do have a plate and I wanted to play with it. So I got out my die cut machine and some different sandwiches and thought, right, well, I've done letterpress before without a Betterpress, so let's see if we can make this work. So I'll show you what the plates look like. So these are the plates that come in this one. This is the Dainty Flower Garden plates. So you get 2 floral images and 2 sentiments. One says, I just adore you. The other says, life is beautiful with friends like you. So these are metal. So they look like a die, but they aren't as sharp as a die. And they've got sort of a softer, more velvet-like feel when you run your finger over them. But the idea is that they will press into your paper and to your cardstock and give that letterpress effect. Excuse me. So this is one of my finished samples that I made. So you can see here, I think if I rub my finger over it, you get a lot of deep impression, and you can ink these metal plates up, which with traditional dies, I have tried it in the past and it doesn't work so well. This sentiment that I've used is actually not a letterpress plate. What I've used is not something we have in store, but this is a Spellbinders Glimmer Hot Foil sentiment set. But it has a similar idea, so there's nothing sharp about these. As you can see, I've managed to make that impress as well. So how did I do it? Let's go through the tests first. So my instant reaction was, okay, so what we need to do is use an embossing mat with it. So that is one of these. So they're either grey or sometimes they're fawn. So it's a rubber mat that's about 5 mils thick. So silicone rubber mat is what it looks like when it comes packaged. Excuse me. And this you can use to where you don't want your die to cut into the paper. So I use these a lot if I want to emboss a frame around something. So I thought, great, let's put the plates on with the mat. And this is what we got. So it's there, but it's pretty disappointing. The detail's not there. There's a few raised bumps, but this was a So we put that one to one side. So then I thought, right, well, we'll just try it. We'll whack some ink on and we'll just try it through the normal sandwich. So normally in my Sizzix, I have the extending platform. So it has the normal mat and it then has like an extra shim. So you've got this extra thin shim in the middle. Turns out that thin shim is too much pressure because when I ran it through just with that, I'm getting some impression into the paper, not a ton, but it also cut in places. So that was too tight. So I swapped it out for the standard platform that comes. So you just get that part and the thin mat. So that was the base of the sandwich that I put in. And I didn't ink it this time, but you can see there's no cutting this time, but we are getting all the lines. But it's not that none of the embossed areas, excuse me, I still got this cold. None of the embossed raised areas are really that well raised up. So that's an effect that you can get with it. I don't know if it's what you'd say would be totally letterpress, but there are some techniques that I'll try doing with that later. So this would be good for doing some ink blending and getting some subtle colour washes over, and for repeating patterns across the card, etc. So I think that that's definitely got some merit. So all I did with that was pop die on face up directly onto my platform. We'll do a test now and show you. And then just got my card, put my card straight on top, and then pop the clear plate as standard over the top. Actually, no, I'm missing a plate underneath, excuse me. Plate underneath, then the plate, then the cardstock over the top. Then we'll just run it through. Now we've got some pressure. Oops, sorry, knocking the camera again. Then we'll take that out. There's still a bit of ink left on from when I last used it, but you can see now that's got a nice impression. So that's literally just running it through the plates as normal. Now, my favourite version of what I used is this was the practice one that I did. So you can see we've got all that lovely detail, but we've definitely got some raised areas and some proper debossing, as you would expect with letterpress. And the magic ingredient for that is this. So this is called the crease pad. So again, we don't sell these because we don't sell the die cut machines, but you'll find this on Amazon for about £12. So this is about the same thickness as a normal cutting plate, and it's got a bit of flexibility, but not, it is much more rigid than the embossing mat. And this seems to be the magic ingredient to get the depth that we're looking for from this. So with this one, we do want to take the plate away. The bottom pad, the bottom cutting pad, sorry. And then for fun, I'm going to try cutting it onto pink card. So then put that over, then pop your crease pad in to your sandwich, and then your clear plate on top. So it's the same thickness as the last sandwich, but everything's on top of the die, on the press plate. I'm going to go backwards and forwards with this one just to be sure. And take that off. And then, as you can see, so this is 300, no, this is 280 GSM cardstock from Hero Arts. And again, the detail is, if you can see that tilted into the light, the embossing is really crisp and clean. So this, I think the crease pad is the trick to getting the best press look without a best press. So I'll show you with some ink. If you want to add a sentiment, then if you have one, a magnetic plate comes in useful here, because you can line everything up and know that it's going to be in the place that you want it before you put your cardstock down. So I'll switch that over and show you how that works. It is a bit tricky to get them off the magnetic plate afterwards, but you just need a scraper tool to lift them up. So for example, I'll put the flower in there, and we'll go for a different sentiment. Just go for the hello friend. So I'm going to tuck that in underneath and make sure it's straight, so then I know that's going to be in the right place when I've done. Then I'm just going to really lightly tap some ink onto the top, so you can see. It's worth checking to see if you've got any ink on the plate, which I've got a tiny bit there, before you run it through with some cardstock. I've just got a little square of cream here, which will just go right that way. No, that's not big enough. So I'll go back in for another white one. So I'm just going to pop my card down on top and get my crease plate and my top layer of the die cut again. Place it on top. Carefully run it through so I don't hit the camera. And there you go. It's gone a bit wonky because I did move it around as I was doing it. It's probably best to put a little bit of tape to tape the card down, so that when you run it through, you don't get any movement. Or for the first one that I did that came out much cleaner, I didn't go backwards with it because of how this camera system's set up. I find it difficult to not go backwards with the die cut machine. I hit a bar at the back that the camera's balanced on. But hopefully you can still see how easy that is to do without the Betterpress. And I'll show you, I did one more finished card. So this one, I used the plate directly onto a craft card. So these are 300 GSM cards, and then I've just used watercolour pens to colour it in, so you can do that with the Letterpress designs as well. So that's basically my quick introduction to how to Betterpress without a Betterpress. Okay, hope you liked it. Catch you later. Happy crafting.